Dear students, macrolide antibiotics is our new topic for discussion. The major members in this group of antibiotics are azithromycin, roxithromycin, clarithromycin, telithromycin and erythromycin. The first member discovered in this group was erythromycin in 1952 from Streptomyces erythraeus, and it was found out by Macquarie and his co-workers. Erythromycin is the prototype member in this macrolide antibiotic group. All the macrolides contains a macrocyclic lactone ring with attached sugars. They have bacteriostatic activity at lower concentration and bactericidal activity at higher concentration. Sensitive gram-positive bacteria accumulates these agents intracellularly by active transport. So these agents are specifically more sensitive to gram-positive organisms. And these macrolides are more active at alkaline pH. Coming to the mechanism of action of macrolides. Macrolides are bacterial protein synthesis inhibitors. They act by binding to the 50S ribosomal subunit and interfere with the translocation step of bacterial protein synthesis. So in the bacterial protein synthesis, after the formation of a peptide bond between the nascent polypeptide chain and the newly binding amino acid, this peptide chain is shifted from A site to P site to make the A site available for the next tRNA to come and bind. But this transfer or shifting is not taking place in the presence of a macrolide antibiotic. So the A site is not freed, so the tRNA can't come and bind to the A site. So the ribosomes are failed to move along the mRNA. So the protein synthesis step is inhibited. There will be premature termination of the peptide chain synthesis. So the larger proteins are not formed. The antimicrobial spectrum of macrolides is narrow. It includes mainly the gram-positive organisms and a very few gram-negative bacteria, and they are highly active against Streptococcus pyogenes, Streptococcus pneumonia, Neisseria gonorrhea, Clostridia, Corynebacterium, diphtheria, Mycoplasma, Haemophilus influenza, Bordetella pertussis, Chlamydia trachomatis. Coming to the resistance mechanisms developed by certain bacteria against macrolides includes, first one is less permeability. Because of the reduced permeability, macrolides are failed to enter into the bacteria. The second mechanism is the development of efflux pumps. So there will be increased pumping out of these macrolides from the bacteria. And the third point is the development of certain enzymes like erythromycin esterase that rapidly metabolizes the erythromycin like antibiotics. And fourth point is alteration in the ribosomal binding site. So if there is a alteration in the binding site, the macrolide antibiotic cannot correctly bind the exact point, so there will be resistance. Certain bacteria which are resistant to this macrolides also show resistance to clindamycin as well as chloramphenicol, because all these antibiotics are binding, antibiotics binding site is very near to each other. That's why they show cross resistance. Few important pharmacokinetic features of erythromycin. It's an acid labile drug, so in order to protect this drug from the gastric acid, it is enteric coated. Food delays its absorption by delaying the gastric emptying. This drug is widely distributed in our body, crosses the serous membrane and placenta, but it does not crosses blood-brain barrier. And this drug is around 70 to 80% bound to plasma proteins. It has mainly excretion through the biliary route, and the renal route of excretion is very minute. So there is no need of dose reduction in renal failure, and it has a half-life of around 1.5 hours. Few important side effects of erythromycin. The major side effects include gastrointestinal problems, which may manifest as epigastric pain, anorexia, nausea, and very few cases of diarrhea. Erythromycin has the ability to stimulate motilin receptors in the gastrointestinal tract. So this stimulation induces gastric contractions and promotes gastric emptying. And if you use erythromycin at very high dose, it may lead to reversible hearing impairment. The hypersensitivity reactions of erythromycin may manifest as rashes, fever, or eosinophilia, and very few case reports of hepatitis and cholestatic jaundice associated with the use of uh, erythromycin acetylate ester. Now, drug interactions of erythromycin. Erythromycin inhibits the metabolism of several drugs, which leads to elevated levels of theophylline, carbamazepine, valproate, and warfarin levels in the blood, so which leads to toxicity. Certain drugs like terfenadine, acetymizole, and cisapride, their use is associated with QT prolongation, ventricular arrhythmias. So, if such drugs used with erythromycin, erythromycin inhibits the metabolism of these drugs and will lead to severe cardiac morbidity, which may lead to death. Uses of erythromycin. First is as an alternative to penicillin in streptococcal pharyngitis, tonsillitis, mastoiditis, diphtheria, tetanus, syphilis, gonorrhea, leptospirosis, then prophylaxis of rheumatic fever and subacute bacterial endocarditis. In diphtheria, both for the acute stage as well as for the carrier stage, we can use erythromycin. In syphilis and gonorrhea, if the tetracyclines are contraindicated, then we can prefer erythromycin. And in leptospirosis, we use erythromycin if the patients are allergic to penicillins. Then, as a first choice drug in atypical pneumonia caused by Mycoplasma pneumonia, then whooping cough as well as in Schadenfreude. In whooping cough, a 1 to 2 week therapy of erythromycin is very effective in eradicating the Bordetella pertussis from the person's body, but the effect on symptoms is depending upon at which stage the treatment has started. In Schadenfreude, erythromycin 2 gram per day for 7 days is a first line drug for the management of Schadenfreude. As a second choice in Campylobacter enteritis, Legionnaires pneumonia, and Chlamydia trachomatis infections. In Campylobacter enteritis, fluoroquinolones are the first preferred agent. In Legionnaires pneumonia, we prefer azithromycin or ciprofloxacin, then only erythromycin. Then Chlamydia trachomatis also, azithromycin is the preferred one. Next, we will see about each agents. The first one is roxithromycin. It's a semi-synthetic, long-acting, acid-stable macrolide. Its antimicrobial spectrum closely resembles that of erythromycin, but it has high activity against Gardnerella vaginalis as well as Legionella. It has got good oral absorption and it has got a long half-life. It's around 12 hours. So, we can better administer this drug twice a day. Clarithromycin is the next agent. This agent is more acid stable than erythromycin. It has an oral bioavailability of 50% due to first pass metabolism. Its kinetics shifted from first order to zero order at higher concentration. Clarithromycin produces an active metabolite in our body. About 1/3 of this drug is excreted unchanged through the urine. This drug, there is no need of dose reduction in liver disease as well as in mild to moderate kidney disease. Antimicrobial spectrum of clarithromycin, it's almost similar to that of erythromycin, but it has certain additional activity against Mycobacterium avium complex or atypical mycobacteria, Mycobacterium leprae, and against some anaerobes. And this clarithromycin has high activity against Helicobacter pylori, Moraxella, Legionella, and Mycoplasma pneumonia. So, clarithromycin is preferred in various upper as well as lower respiratory tract infections, atypical pneumonia, whooping cough, skin infection by Streptococcus pyogenes and Staph aureus, triple drug regimen against Helicobacter pylori, and against atypical mycobacteria and leprosy. And the adverse effects of clarithromycin includes reversible hearing loss, pseudomembranous enterocolitis, and very rarely hepatic dysfunction and rhabdomyolysis. Coming to azithromycin, it is one of the most commonly used antimicrobial agent in the clinical practice. It's a congener of erythromycin. This drug is acid stable and it has rapid oral absorption from the empty stomach. It attains high concentration in the macrophages as well as in the fibroblast. This drug has a very slow release from the intracellular site, so it attains a terminal T-half of more than 50 hours. That is why this drug is most commonly administered once in a day. Most of the time this drug is excreted mainly through bile and renal excretion is only 10%. Azithromycin is considered as a first choice drug in Legionnaires' pneumonia, Chlamydia trachomatis, Donovanosis, chancroid as well as in penicillinase producing Neisseria gonorrhea, urethritis. And its further uses are mainly the upper respiratory tract infections like pharyngitis, tonsillitis, sinusitis, otitis media, and in pneumonia, skin infections, or atypical mycobacterial infections in AIDS, or in typhoid and malaria. And the common adverse effects associated with the use of azithromycin are gastric upset, abdominal pain, headache, dizziness, and azithromycin does not have much significant drug interaction. Next agent is pyramycin. Its spectrum of activity is similar to that of erythromycin, but it has only restricted use. Now, this agent is only preferred for preventing the transmission of toxoplasmosis, and its use is associated with different side effects like gastric irritation, diarrhea, as well as rashes. Coming to telithromycin, it's a ketolide congener of erythromycin, where a keto group is substituted in the structure. This agent has similar antibacterial spectrum with that of erythromycin, but this telithromycin is less susceptible to the methylases as well as the efflux mechanisms of the resistant organism. Telithromycin has an oral bioavailability of around 60%, and this agent is excreted through both urine as well as through the bile with a half-life of around 12 hours. Even though its antibacterial spectrum is similar to that of erythromycin, this telithromycin is more active against erythromycin resistant Streptococcus pneumoniae as well as Bacteroides fragilis. Now its use is limited to resistant cases of community acquired pneumonia, sinusitis or pharyngitis. The use of telithromycin is associated with certain adverse reactions which includes nausea, diarrhea, blurred vision, pseudomembranous colitis or exacerbation of myasthenia gravis. Telithromycin is an enzyme inhibitor. It inhibits the actions of cytochrome P3A4. So there is accumulation and toxicity of those drugs which are also metabolized by this cytochrome P3A4. For example, if you administer this telithromycin along with terfenadine or azithromycin, these drugs are associated with the risk of QT prolongation. So there will be inhibition of the metabolism of this terfenadine or azithromycin, which leads to arrhythmias. Now our last members, zithromycin and solithromycin. These drugs are in the various stages of their development. They are mainly evaluated for their activity against macrolide resistant streptococci and enterococci. That's all about macrolides. Thank you.